Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, the alpha for Call of Duty Vanguard is now over, and with this, the mode of Champions Hill has been played by a lot of people, and what I wanted to do is take a minute and talk about what I thought of it, my honest opinions on it, the good, the bad, the completely awful, because there's a lot of all of those, and I think there's a lot of really bad misinformation going around about this alpha, and I wanted to cover that as well. The first thing that we're going to do in this video is take a look at everything that Sledgehammer has already came out and said that they will be addressing, and then I'm going to dive into my opinions on it, because believe it or not, I actually had a really good time with this alpha. However, at the same time, there are some very, very large problems with some of the gameplay, and specifically this game mode as well, and that is kind of what I wanted to go over in this video and discuss, and more specifically talk about how it can be improved and fixed for the full launch or even the beta of the game. So without further ado, let's start out by looking at the things that Sledgehammer actually said that they are going to change. So this all came from a tweet over the weekend, and essentially these are things that Sledgehammer's said that they will be fixing moving forward. The first one is visibility when damaged. Essentially what this is when you get shot or damaged or hit by a grenade or anything like that, your screen kind of goes darker, goes red a little bit, and is very difficult to not just see enemy players, but to see anything at all when this is happening. This is something that they had a problem with in Call of Duty World War II, and they are already addressing it, which is good. The second is spawn tuning. If you played the alpha, the spawns were really bad. You would spawn right behind enemies. Enemies would spawn right behind you when it made zero sense for that to be happening. This always happens in an alpha or a beta, so there's absolutely no surprise there. Hopefully this is something they can get ironed out before the actual launch of the game, and of course the beta will help with that as well. The next one is map visibility. This is one I had a very big problem with. In certain situations, it was just very hard to see enemies, and this is a problem that Modern Warfare and Black Ops Cold War had, and they addressed throughout the entire life cycle of the game. This is something I would really like to see fixed before the game is actually launched. I think that's a very big thing, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they will do something good with that. After this, they have audio mix tuning. I'm assuming that this is addressing footstep audio. If you played the alpha, you'll know that footsteps were basically, you couldn't hear them at all. Even if someone was running right behind you, you couldn't hear anything. I'm assuming they're going to address that, but they haven't said that specifically, so not 100% sure. The next one is nameplate visibility issues. So there's a lot revolving around that. So with destructible walls, you could literally see someone's name tag straight through the wall. Sometimes even through full-on walls, you could see that as well. Sometimes they just wouldn't appear at all. Obviously, this is a big problem and goes hand in hand with map visibility as well. If you can't see an enemy, but you can just see their name tag, and you're not supposed to see their name tag in that situation, obviously that's a very big problem. They are addressing that. And then aim assist through destructible walls. So aim assist was very, very strong during the alpha, and I'm wondering if they're just going to tune that in general. And then through destructible walls, you could basically lock on to someone like you had aimbot. It was pretty ridiculous. I think there's a lot of problems with destructible walls in general, mainly being the fact that you can see nameplates through them a lot of the time. On top of that, you're getting aim assist through them, and of course this is something new to this game, so they're going to have problems with that moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised if these problems remain the same in the beta, but again, this is something they're going to be having to address definitely before the launch of the game. So those are everything that they are actually addressing and said that they have worked on. Now I want to dive into my opinions on the alpha. So first of all, I want to start off with the game mode in and of itself, and then we'll move into the gameplay. So as far as the game mode goes, I think it is a really, really cool game mode and a lot of fun to play, but has two really big problems. The first of which is the play style of the game mode. In duos, it is extremely slow, and if you want to win, a very viable strategy is to just sit in your spawn and wait for enemies to come to you. Because there's no objective in this game mode, it really promotes camping, because essentially the name of the game is stay alive and don't lose lives. So in duos, it is very slow. This gets a little bit better when you play trios. There's more people, so it's easier to find people, more likely that they're going to be moving around, so that helps in and of itself. However, I don't know how to fix this, and that's a big problem. With gunfight, they make it so that if you just sit in your spawn and don't move, eventually an objective spawns in, and then you can have to go get that to win the round. The problem with this mode is it's purely based around lives, and I don't know how they implement an objective to incentivize moving around in some faster gameplay. If you have any ideas for this, feel free to let me know down in the comments, because personally, normally when it comes to this kind of thing, I have an idea or a way to fix it. I'm not sure with this one. So like I said, let me know what you think down below. The second big problem with this mode is replayability. Yes, it's fun. It's fun to go for the win, to be that top dog, but without any rewards, I don't see players sticking with this mode. One thing that they did what's really cool in Black Ops Cold War is every 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, they implement a new reward for gunfight tournaments. And that brings me back, makes me play them, tries to get the blueprints and things like that. And I think they need really good rewards with this mode. Even to go as far as to say, if you get 50 wins in this mode, you get some sort of really cool blueprint. Or I think what would be even better is character skins. You could go 50 wins in this mode, 100 wins, and then do something really crazy like 500 wins, and you get some sort of crazy glowing character skin or something like that for actually completing that. That needs to be implemented, or people will just not stick around this game mode. Now, the one other thing that I think this mode needs is a better leaderboard overlay. I don't really know what to call it, but one thing I'd like to see is the amount of deaths each individual player has on your team. On top of that, maybe some score, some damage, things along those lines. But if you've played this solo and not with friends, one thing that's very difficult is, for example, when you have a buy round, if you buy more than one spy plane, there's really no benefit to it. So if you're playing alone and you don't have comms, you can't really ask your teammates if they have one. So some sort of leaderboard that maybe shows you what your teammates have bought, what kind of upgrades they have, or some way to look at those, I think would be very beneficial for solo players and doesn't currently exist. And that could go alongside some sort of leaderboard that also shows you how much damage your teammates have and how they are doing likewise. Let's talk about a couple of the things I liked about this game mode. I think winning felt really good. When you do well, it feels really good, which is what you want. And on top of that, it is rewarding to do well in this game mode because you get that money and then you can buy kill streaks, you can buy extra lives, and by the end you feel very, very powerful with leveling up your weapons. Also, the leveling of the weapons is very simple. You can do it mid-game, again, making that money even more rewarding. I think all of that is really good. However, this comes more into the gameplay. There's a lot of really big balancing issues, especially with specific attachments like FMJ. You have explosive rounds, incendiary rounds, and both of the explosive and incendiary rounds, specifically on the bar and the STG, are just really, really overpowered. And I think we saw this in Call of Duty World War II with incendiary rounds on shotguns. They're really freaking annoying, and to already see those on assault rifles, this has me really, really worried for the attachments in multiplayer, and specifically the attachments when they move into Warzone. I want you to just picture explosive rounds on assault rifles or incendiary rounds on assault rifles in Warzone. That has me really, really worried. We're gonna have to wait to see how it plays out, whether they get nerfed, whether they... I would prefer for them to just get removed, but if they're balanced properly, it is possible for these to be good. It's just really, really worrisome for me because I was even getting frustrated in this game mode with them. I can only imagine within Warzone. Now, the last thing I have within the game mode, and this is very well something they may do anyway, is in this game mode, basically there was 2 ways to start out. Either you spawned in with a Thompson or you spawned in with the MP40. What I personally think they should do is they should make you spawn in with a completely random weapon every single time. This would add more variability to the gameplay. It would make it so sometimes you spawn in with a sniper and maybe you have to buy that other starting weapon because you don't like a sniper rifle or you're not good with a sniper rifle. And I think that would be a very good way of switching up the gameplay as well. And like I said, that might be something they already have planned, but as of right now, you only start with one of the 2 SMGs. So we'll have to wait to see with that, but I think more variability within the gameplay would be a very good thing. Now, let's talk about the gameplay in and of itself, because this is where I've been hearing a lot of things that just simply aren't true. So the first thing, how this game plays. So I've heard a lot of people compare this to Black Ops Cold War and Modern Warfare, and I just wanted to get my opinion out there. This game feels a lot more like Modern Warfare with the gunplay, with the movement, than it does Black Ops Cold War. In my opinion, Black Ops Cold War just feels a little bit clunky because it's not on that Modern Warfare engine. This feels more like Modern Warfare. The second thing that I've heard people say is this is just a reskin of Call of Duty World War II. Again, absolutely not the case. It does not feel like that game. I get why people are saying that because the look of it is kind of like that game, especially because it's a World War II game and a lot of the settings are kind of set in that era. It looks similar, but it doesn't feel similar. And I think as soon as anyone gets their hands on the game, and I think because this was just on PlayStation, a lot of people couldn't, I think a lot of people will change their minds on that. And I think that's probably why they shouldn't do these alphas just on PlayStation, because a lot of opinions get out there that just simply aren't true, and you can't get across simply by watching gameplay. So the other thing that this game once again implements is number 1, mounting, number 2, doors, 2 things I really didn't like within Modern Warfare. I don't think that's going to change. It's just my opinion, not my favorite thing in the world. I just don't like that campy style that those things make, and unfortunately we're going to have that. However, one way they're counteracting that is actually having the good ghost, as I like to call it. The one where if you do not move, you still show up on UAVs. This is awesome. I don't know why they didn't do this in Modern Warfare, but it's good to see that that's already implemented in the game, at the very least in Champion Hill. So for my overall opinion, I give this pretty much a 7 out of 10. Now, I am a little bit generous because this is an alpha and some of the issues like spawns I know will be fixed. However, I think one of the biggest issues with this mode is the campy style that it promotes. Now, one way they try to counteract that is by adding that extra life somewhere where you have to run in the middle of the map, and that does help. And I don't 100% know a way to fix that campy style that this gameplay or this mode promotes. Again, I would love to hear your thoughts. It's very interesting to me, and it is better in trios. I will say that, and maybe this mode was more focused on that, but they added duos first, so you wouldn't think that. I'm not 100% sure, but like I said, let me know what you guys think of this mode. Let me know what you think of the gameplay. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Feel free to let me know what all of your thoughts down in the comments. I'll be reading all of them. This is one of those videos that I'm very curious what you guys have to say about it. But those are my thoughts so far. As soon as the beta comes out, I'll give you guys another one of these videos, and probably with a lot more depth because we're going to have a lot more to talk about. But like I said, let me know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you like what you see here, subscribe, turn notifications on. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.